A neuron is composed of several compartments, each of which serves a distinctly different functional role and usually has a distinct appearance. In most neurons, the largest compartment is the cell body, also called the soma. Neurons, like all other cells, have a nucleus, which contains the cell's genetic material and the machinery for manufacturing proteins. In neurons, the nucleus is found inside the cell body. Coming off the cell body, you can see many thin branches called dendrites. Dendrites act as information receivers. This is where the neuron will receive input signals coming from other neurons. This entire set of dendrites is often referred to as a dendritic tree, or arbor. On the opposite side of the cell body from the dendritic tree is the axon, which is essentially a cable that carries the output of the neuron to other neurons. The far or distal end of the axon can branch many times to form many synapses with multiple downstream neurons. Axons come in two flavors, myelinated and unmyelinated. Myelinated axons are wrapped in a fatty sheath called myelin. The myelin layer acts as an electrical insulator and increases the speed at which electrical signals can travel down the axon. The myelin sheath is actually the cell membrane of another type of cell called an oligodendrocyte. Synapses are where neurons actually talk to each other. Synapses are located at the end of the axon, farthest from the cell body. Each synapse has three basic regions: a presynaptic zone, located at the end of the axon of the neuron transmitting information, a postsynaptic zone, located in the dendritic arbor of the receiving neuron, and the synaptic cleft, which is a physical gap between the pre- and postsynaptic zones. Each zone contains highly specialized cellular machinery that is unique to that zone. We'll talk more about what goes on at the synaptic junction in a later video. The cartoon cell we've been looking at is an idealized picture of a neuron that you'll see a lot. It's a simplified representation of one particular type of neuron, known as a pyramidal cell, that is particularly prevalent in the human brain. However, as I previously mentioned, neurons come in many different shapes or morphologies. These shapes reflect which other neurons they're communicating with, their biophysical functions, and how they fit into the overall wiring diagram of the brain. Just look at the shapes of various neurons across the brain, and you can easily come up with dozens of distinct types of neurons. We'll mostly stick with the same basic shape for all of our illustrations, but just keep in mind that reality is a lot more diverse.